How would 12,500 affect your life right now? Dental work I've been putting off for 8 years. Had 2 cracked and broken teeth from an accident that I just can't afford to fix. Seeing as I got laid off yesterday, it would be pretty big. I could help my mom. We've been struggling a bit, but if I got that money and gave it to her, she'd be much less stressed. Pay off my school debt. Debt paid off and the rest into savings. Not life-changing, but helpful. Seriously? Even 2,000 would give me a hell of a lot of peace of mind. 12,500 would be borderline life-changing. All of the afford my meds in this thread is heartbreaking. I'd use it to buy these people's meds. It would be life-changing but also not at the same time. I would be able to live more comfortably and go grocery shopping without penny pinching to an extreme degree. Rent wouldn't be a constant concern and I would be able to be more selective for my job choice rather than taking the first offer that comes my way. However, I would still have student debt, so I wouldn't be totally in the clear. Fix my teeth/mouth. Finally be able to eat healthy. Probably lose it all trying to settle a score with a hedge fund. Pay off my 6K debt. Treat myself to a TV and rest, send to my mother to make her life easier. Wouldn't need to worry ABT the possibility of becoming homeless soon. Could also afford to get my driver's license, 3,000 on average where I live, and this would increase my chances of finding a job so I can keep paying further bills. Rent, etc. Plus I could afford having my teeth done now rather than later when they've gotten even worse, so I'd need to pay even more then. Rest would go to my mom since she might face temporary unemployment due to the pandemic. My mom died natural causes early October. I was her caretaker. She left 0 money, no life insurance, and a lot of land taxes. I stopped my life to care for her. No regrets, but she left me in a pickle. I had to beg to get her buried. It was awful. My sister, only sibling, died of COVID 1 month prior to that. I didn't even have a chance to grieve. They all just died. I haven't eaten or slept in months. I'm scared. And lonely. I want to move forward. But money is the key here. 12,500 would change my life completely. I could get this old, packed with stuff house sold. I need help because the house is full of stuff and I'm alone, and I take bags to Goodwill but I am only one person. I really need to just get the heck out of a sad place now. Pay off land taxes, which is holding up probate issues, and be able to build a life again. I hope. I'm scared, alone in the world now, and that amount would help me more than most would think. Undefined. This isolation is hard for all of us, and the connections and amazing comments are much appreciated. Thank you all so much. Edit too. Oh my gosh. The outpouring of support is amazing. I'm in happy tear mode. My heart. Thanks y'all. Pay off debt accumulated from supporting my alcoholic husband, thankfully semi-separated now, for my MH and get me back on track. He's been laid off and in recovery for 2 years now, but still gets on me for losing my breadwinner job benefits due to my medical disability. Learning my lessons on sunken cost fallacy. Just want to put money into savings and not into interest payments. These answers brought to you by the concept, perspective. It would change everything. I'd be able to know I can afford my medication for a while, food, housing, etc. Paying off one of my student loans would be so helpful. Why, you offering? That would change my life a lot. I could replace a lot of my stuff that got burned, pay off debts, get the outside stray cats spayed so that I stop finding dead kittens around, which is pretty feeping demoralizing, and I could probably buy some decent groceries as well. It'd be gone really fast, but it would make such a massive difference to me. It would allow us the security to take time off work and focus on our son, who went through brain surgery almost a year ago now for his epilepsy, who has lost most of his communication abilities. He should be in school, but our school board is full remote, and healthcare services for these sorts of things are almost non-existent right now. So we're both working full-time, trying to be speech/language therapists, teachers, parents, to him and our 3 other children. I would get that psychological evaluation my therapist wants me to get. Also, I'd get my teeth fixed. I'd finally be able to fix my teeth and eat like a normal person. I'd be able to have my dog's ACL repaired. It would fix all of my problems. I'd be able to take my cat to the vet, catch up on my rent, catch up on bills, and I'd be able to afford my medicine for the next couple months. It would literally change my life. I'd probably take it, spend it on therapy sessions for my mental health, Maybe fix my laptop which fell apart and the manufacturer says it's my fault when the hinge was never attached in the first place, and save the rest for a rainy day. It would mean I can eat for the rest of this pandemic. It would mean I can start my business with my sibling. It would mean not worrying about rent for a while. It would be a miracle. It would pay off my wife's dental work and help us not have to pull money out of savings to pay for her mother's negligence. I could pay off my debts and move out of my current house where my roommates/high school friends are draining my resources by being deadbeats. Dude, I'm 14. My bedroom would be peeping lit. Be able to buy a bed, pay off student loans and get some certifications to get my ass out of retail. Really would be happy with $2K to do the first or third, to be honest. Honestly, not much. It'd just go towards my loans. I'd need a lot more than $12,500 to fix this bullspeep. I would cry with happiness. Oh hey, all those medical tests I need. I've been hoping to get a sleep MRI, a sleep study, and a 10-day EEG in hospital. I can't get them right now, DC, even with insurance. The copay is ridiculous. It'd be able to pay my family back for helping with my dog's sickness/passing the last 3 weeks, $2K, my bills and back taxes on the house, $4K, and put the rest towards debt from my reckless 20s. That would be huge. No idea what's going to happen when the tax man knocks. Hell, I would have been fine if it wasn't for COVID. $12,500 would be enough for the down payment of a small house and the fees to break the lease with our landlord, who is intentionally raising rent high enough on the low-income housing that the longer we stay here, the poorer we get. And if we get better paying jobs, we lose our apartment because income caps. I wouldn't have to decide between buying food, the medication that keeps me alive and functional, and paying rent, because a mortgage and internet, utilities, etc. For any house, $250,000 or less is hundreds of dollars cheaper than what I'm paying in rent right now. I've seriously thought about killing myself more times in the past year than have in almost a decade, because it'd be cheaper overall to just die than keep living here. Shouldn't have clicked on this post. It hurts to think about this. Haha. It would probably mean that I could safely leave my marriage and know I'd be able to make it. It would be a safety net to get me set up on my own and to make sure my daughter has everything she needs. Wouldn't change anything. I'd just add it to my investment funds. I can't remember how much she pays a month, but I would buy my coworkers insulin until the funds ran out. Have her paycheck go towards it each month. She's struggling. Pay off the little bit of debt I have and then save. Would be extremely helpful. Would pay off a credit card. Maybe one student loan and the rest would disappear into another student loan. Help finally move out of the apartment we've been living in for 13 years. It's falling apart. When it rains, water flows in all the way to the front door. The kitchen light doesn't work. Only 1/4 stove tops work. Completely taken over by cockroaches. Only 2 rooms with 5, sometimes 6 people living in it. Grandma visits from another country. Bathroom handle falls off. Tub leaks. And drunk, creepy neighbors, plus horrible neighborhood where there are prostitutes, murders and drug dealers. We've tried moving countless of times, but we never have enough money. We told maintenance hundreds upon thousands of times, but they never cared about anything. It's been a year and they still haven't fixed the stove or anything since our last complaint. It's a nightmare to live here. I practically grew up here. Don't want my siblings to do the same. Fix my car up, put some money into my teeth, then TBH whatever improves my mental health. 1/3 would go to debt. 1/3 would go to investments. 1/3 goes to fun. Buy a bunch of speep and realize the errors of my ways. Edit THX for the upvotes, and I am going to add constantly but Uber Eats. Buy me a nice car. Save the rest. Pay off some debt with 600. Spend 500 on myself and my partner and put 600 into savings. I could finally pay my medical bills off and get new windows so my house isn't cold or hot all the time. Pay off our credit cards. Finally be able to afford our wedding. We've been engaged 3 years now and haven't just done it because we don't want to compromise our vision. Nothing extravagant, but around 800 would do it. It would help put a dent in the repairs needed to the house we just bought. My wife and I thought we were buying our home that need a little work. Turns out there was dry rot and termites behind the wall. It's turned into a nightmare for me. I'm used to being able to fix everything for her and provide her with stability and safety in life, but this is beyond the scope of what I'm able to do both physically and financially. I've not cried since I was a child, but I'm damn close now. I feel so helpless and like I'm letting us down. I've been working on it nearly non-stop doing what I can, but the job seems insurmountable with no end in sight. I've been having panic attacks and looking for more work and what I can sell and do to make more money. Nobody seems to understand. I would be able to pay off all of our debt and fix my car, then use the rest to be able to afford our house. I could get the dental work that my parents denied me, genuinely smile in a photograph and eat any food I want. I would be able to go to Europe to pursue a master's in aeronautics engineering, which I'm very passionate about. It will open up the opportunity of a lifetime and bring me one step closer to my goal. It'll take me out of my hopeless depression and allow me to leave the job that I hate, which I'm holding on to with dear life because I need it to be able to barely sustain myself and not be homeless. It would make me completely debt-free. Life-changing. Well, I would be able to afford another year of rent at my current apartment. Housing stability for a few months. My roommate let me know he's moving back to Vancouver and ending the lease. It would let me keep my place until another friend moves back to the city and in to start a PhD. Housing is quite unaffordable in Toronto on a graduate student stipend. I could move out of my toxic household and have some cushion in my savings finally. Invest it, triple it, then pay it forward to whoever needs it. It would save my life. I could pay off my credit card and finally afford to get my wisdom teeth removed. Maybe not life-changing for some, but definitely for me. Oh, also I could also take my cat to the vet and help my brother out with some bills. I would have to choose between getting my teeth fixed, which even with insurance probably wouldn't go too far, but would likely have the greater benefit to my overall happiness, over a car I don't have to worry about every time I use it. Fixing my car, selling my flat and buying a compact house. I could do a lot of things, but mainly I'd buy rings for my fiancé and me and get married. I could finally pay off my new kitchen, get my car fixed, pay back the parents of my girlfriend, because they bought us both new laptops for study, get a bit of work in my flat done, and the rest I would put back. It would literally solve all of my problems. Now I don't see these as problems, but more like inconveniences. I plan on studying veterinary medicine, but because I already have a bachelor's degree I need to pay full tuition fee, which is $20,000. I can only put up a loan for half of it, so I need to come up with $10,000 in the next year or borrow it from friends and family, which I rather want to. So I plan on doing a lot of night shifts in the coming time to cover for it. If I'd have $12,500 right now, that would save me a lot of sleepless nights while still having to go to full-time unpaid internship. So it would be great for new health and also performance at new internship, and I wouldn't have to lend it from others. Finish graduating college without worrying about losing my house. Husband out of work a year. Severance dwindling. Would give us some breathing room. Haven't been breathing very much lately. My family 5. 2 adults, a teenager and 2 toddlers could move out of our run-down 1-bedroom apartment and get a down payment for our home. We could also get new furniture because the kids and other people broke a lot of out stuff. Honestly, I would probably just YOLO that speep on stonks and tendies. Not much at all. I would put it in my savings account. There was a time, when I was younger, it would have been life-changing. It took me 6 months to make that kind of money. Now it takes a month. When I was in college I was so broke I would run out of gas and just leave my car sitting until my next paycheck. I am very fortunate. I suppose I could then budget out the $5,000 it purportedly takes to become extremely physically attractive. I think that lets me move into a cheap, but serviceable apartment within the next month or so. Would help with a down payment on a house. Stupid Greater Seattle area is becoming a nightmare to find a home. I join Wall Street Bits. Wouldn't be worried about bills, student loans, and other financial responsibilities for a while. It would also put me closer to my dream of owning a home too. I would pay my rent for the year. I'd give it to my parents so they can get closer to retiring. They are tired. Down payments on a piece of land to homestead or do some alternate building with and avoid all this terrifying housing financialization. Just recently totaled my car, so I would get a new car with the rest going towards college funds, investing, and savings. Poor college students, so it would help a ton. I haven't lived in the same continent as my mother for more than 15 years. If I had that money I could afford to bring her back home for good. Bigger apartment. More money that I can throw away on options, plays Lamau. I'm 24 yo, and 2020 taught me to not wait on a paycheck. I am using my stepdad's old truck and trying to start my hauling business. It's called Black Cat Hauling Service and I'm based in Southern Oregon. I paid for cards and Facebook ads, so I'm starting to feel the pressure. This would not only help me with rent but help me really get it off the ground, and hopefully one day I'll be able to return the favor. Oh, college. Do I even need to say more? Pay off my car, get a washer and dryer, and finally get some new clothes. Rest will go towards savings for now. Put a big dent in debt. It would be pretty great and provide a bigger head start to home ownership. Thankfully the pandemic hasn't affected my income, so I am not struggling as bad as some. My recycling company in Colombia is suffering with the coronavirus lockdown. We're still trying to recover. That amount of money translates in a lot when you change that for Colombian pesos. That money would save my company and would help the environment in this rough times. I could afford to get my car fixed. That would be a lifesaver for me right now. Could have the workshop of my dreams, and that pretty much is more than enough for me to achieve everything I want to do in life. Also, those 5K to the exchange of my country's currency right now would be 44M, and I need only like 10M here to have all I want. Pay toward the debt I've accumulated over the past year. Speep, $500 would keep me above water for right now. 500 would change my life. Medical bills from a bad truck wreck I had. Medical bills from my daughter being born. 2 missed mortgage payments, because of a 7,000 boiler replacement that needed to happen at the worst time. Credit card debt from being out of work after the wreck. We're surviving for now because of my badass wife. Be able to buy a second vehicle. Wife uses the one for work, and the one current car can't carry larger materials like drywall, plywood, etc. Additionally, I'd be able to take on more odd jobs. At the moment I do freelance IT, photography, photo services, things scanning negatives and making slideshows. But I'm completely stuck at home. I've been walking up to a mile or more in all weather to do very local IT gigs. We have this 1927 arts and crafts house which needs a lot of maintenance and repair. We've been paying double for things like plywood because of the size limitations. It's more expensive in smaller sizes. Additionally, I'd be able to invest more. I mined 2 BTC on my 80 GPU back in 2011. I wanted to put 1,000 into BTC when it was worth only 0.40 per BTC. I wasn't able to. In fact, because of the financial difficulties we had, I was boxed into selling my BTC for cash, which involved using a trading market, and that trading market went bankrupt and still has my 2 BTC. That's all one of numerous missed opportunities I've had. For years we struggled to pay down debt from our 2 premies. We could have paid off those debts for a 40% discount if we were able to pay them in a lump sum. I managed to do it with an 1,800 bill for a miscarriage by taking out a payday loan. But that was the only one I was able to gather the funds for. Ain't no tangible difference. If I had 12,500 I wouldn't even think of dying. Literally will change everything. It's probably not that huge sum of money for some people, but here in third world country it will actually change a life. I have been homeless since June and can't even find a place to stay, and because of COVID nobody is hiring, and here in my country it's basically a half quarantine state. Speeps have been rough. Definitely would buy Morgman AMC, but I'm an ape, so help me buy a car, don't have one right now. Gave half to my parents and saved the other half for raising 2 dogs. Ducking huge. I could afford a down payment on a condo and stop paying rent. A man can dream. I could get a car and find a better paying job and move out a lot sooner than planned. Because of my situation right now I'm extremely depressed, and being able to get out sooner would change everything for me. I could finally be a lot happier. It would clear me of 90% of my debt and set me free from that burden. What a relief it would be. Get my crappy teeth pulled and have dentures and be able to smile again. Closed mouth smiling sucks. I'd also seek management work again, earn more money, and finally buy a home. I could afford to fix the Cadillac converter and oil pan gasket and get new tires. Catch up on all remaining bills. Pay off the last of my student loan debts. Maybe get a fancy coffee. No more debt. End of story. I would be debt-free, that is the amount I owe to banks and people from gambling. I'm recovering right now, and this amount would save me time by not working unnecessary jobs. Like coming up for air. Just plain being able to live, paying rent, car bill, phone, internet, food for at least another 6 months. Last year's COVID hit hard. 2 debts paid off and some extra to pay a bill into another debt of finally buy a bed. It would pay off the remaining balance of my student loans. I would finally be debt-free after 9 years. I would be able to move out on my own, and have my own place while I look for a job without being a financial burden. I'll also be able to afford my medication, counseling, and so on. Would be able to replace my roof, which is currently raining downstairs, through the attic, whenever it snows and rains. Would probably use most of it to pay some of my parents' debt, and the rest I'd use to start investing/trading. I would be able to help with some debt, yes, the new place, and start over. If it was just an extra $12,500 on top of what I have right now, I would probably put some into savings and the rest to charity. I'm lucky in that I'm doing well right now. A little extra in my RRSP would be great down the road, but there are a few charities I donate to that I'd give a larger dump, like the BC Cancer Society, who helped both my dad and mum when they were around. In local currency Australia it would be nice, but it's definitely not life-changing. My only debt is half ownership of a house and we owe about $400,000 on it. $12,500 off that is pretty insignificant. I don't really want for many things, but a new vehicle would be nice. But the car market is kind of peaked here too, so $12,500 doesn't go that far either. My motorcycle is old but fully functional for the time being, so no need to replace that. I'd probably put it towards a holiday. Rent paid for the next 6 months. Supplemental income while I get my labrum reattached. It would be huge because I could cover an outside medical expenses I am sure to get hit with. Relocate to another state. Nevada, Texas. Buy a used car. My first car. Back to school. Already have a degree. I could enroll back in college. Finish my degree. I would be able to get groceries. And pay rent. And maybe even treat myself to a Valentine's meal. I'd be able to get the car of my dreams. And some extra cash to get me through college. Medical bills. I'd use it to get out of this town I've been in for my whole life, locate somewhere out west, make something of myself, and break out of the financial speep hole my family's been in. Not life-changing, but I'd buy the sickest camera possible and a pile of lenses. I would pay off all of our medical debt and CC debt and be completely free and clear. I could pay off 75%-ish of my car, which would help so much. Feel like I can't breathe sometimes, lol. I would probably buy a good streaming setup and start streaming. That would pay my rent for a year, furnish my entire house, have me pay off my debts. I could only wish. Buys PC, saves rest of it and less. Buys entire Steam. Could finally get health insurance and not worry how I'm going to pay rent in upcoming months. If one more thing breaks on, as we're going to really be struggling. New start. Pay some debts and start a business. Still have to work to achieve what I want. Recently acquired $15,000. I built a new home studio for music. Got some furniture. Got a new TV, groceries, and took my partner on a few nice dates. So right now, broke again, but surrounded by nice things and full cupboards. It would damned near eliminate my household credit card debt, bringing us so close to just home payments. I think it would be an immaculate feeling, uncomparable to literally anything. That would literally change my life. I could pay off my car, either fix it proper rather than short-term fixes, or put a payment on a new one. Also, it would put me in a new place when my lease is up. If only, haha.